I've got something for you. I wanted to start this off with a gift.
Oh, I love that.
These episodes are powered by Sorare, and they're into collectibles. So, and you're into collectibles. So I figured I'd get you something, a ticket that you probably don't have. I'd bet a significant amount that you don't have this ticket.
Wow. Let me see it.
It looks. I'm going to show you in a second, but it looks like it's a Willy Wonka ticket, but it's not. It is a golden ticket to the 1973 World Series press room, also known as Willie Mays' last career game.
Oh, that's really cool.
But the thing that I love so much about it is that it's gold. And when you see it in person, it looks like a golden ticket. And for that to have a few different meanings, I thought that was right for you.
That's amazing. Listen, I love oddball, I love different, and I love when even when you look at something that's now going to be 50 years old, that they took the time to make it great. That's really some of the joy of some of these things. And thank you, by the way. When you look at the attention that the Yankees paid in 19, 20, and 30, especially tickets in Yankee Stadium that are boxing tickets. Amazing, amazing. The Lewis Schmeling fight is just like you look at it and you're like, this is a piece of art. The Yankees and the Cubs, whoever was doing those tickets back then, all the way up to the 50s, really took some pride in making it different and making it a piece of art. And I doubt that person is these people are alive today, but as a ticket collector, I really appreciate them.
Totally. Yeah, old tickets are beautiful. And most people really didn't, obviously, because of the pop counts on some of the most iconic events in world history. There are so few. But, and I guess this might be a good question, is how many people do you think kept them at the time versus what the current pop counts are today? And did people at the time of those events cherish it more than the population count, for those that don't know, would suggest did today?
I mean, the discourse about the back end of tickets is one of the most fascinating things to me. Why did people keep a ticket? Why did they not? And over generations, how did that go down? So, you think about the Don Larson perfect game where there's like 200 of them, which for a 1956 ticket is remarkable. Like, how is that possible? Well, unlike baseball cards, it's like your grandfather said, do not throw this out. This was immediately put in a scrapbook. At the time, it was known how significant it was, and it was passed on in generations. Your grandfather was at this game. And then you have scenarios. So, like it starts with the general population of people who was at the game, how many people were at the game, and even what the distribution of crowd is based on the fans. Michael Jordan over Craig Elo, the shot, one of the events that's called the shot. I know there are many, but 99.9% of people in Richfield Coliseum in Ohio were Cavs fans. And so I doubt that there were 25 remaining tickets the next day.
Sure.
Then Bartman with the Bartman 2003 NLCS. It's an
People were
NLCS
pissed.
game. Yeah, so you and then what type of event is it? So like people keep Super Bowl tickets, people keep World Series tickets, but even an NLCS game which has more importance than a regular season game, it's like Bartman, like you don't want that curse of a ticket in your house, and that becomes and I'll tell the most fascinating one. Do you know about the Michael Jordan shrug game population?
What's the nuance with that population?
The population is ridiculous, like 100 or maybe more. And I was like, wow, when I first started collecting tickets, I was like, why would the shrug game be so cheap? Now, it is an NBA Finals game, but it's like, why would the shrug game be so cheap? And the answer is this.
The tickets looked nice, or Jordan was on the ticket? What was it?
No, it has nothing to do with the ticket itself. It has to do with the ads that were on the back of the ticket. So they were playing the Portland Trailblazers, and I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, if the Bulls scored a certain number of points, you got a free Pizza Hut pizza. And if the Bulls held their opponents to a certain number of points, you got to go to White Hen Pantry, which is like as a guy who lived in Chicago for 4 years, it's like 7-Eleven, but the logo is a white hen. It's really unappealing and very, from a branding standpoint, very weird. But White Hen Pantry would give you a Illinois lottery ticket. Both were, I think it was like Bulls 121, Trailblazers 89. Both conditions worked. And then people gave their tickets to both White Hen Pantry and Pizza Hut. And apparently at the time, and this was told to me, hopefully the game of telephone works, through Andrew Goldberg, who's the Jordan ticket collector, that, someone went to both, and there was a bucket of tickets that were not thrown out that were collected at the time, and somehow it lasted through to ticket collecting. And that is why the Shrug game only costs $350 and not what you would think, $2,500.
That's pretty amazing. And then you have what I imagine is the most widely regarded, famous, most expensive ticket, the Jackie Robinson debut, right? At the time, obviously, the reason that game was so significant is because what he did had not been done before. And a lot of people were upset about it. Therefore, how could a few conditions apply over that period of time? A, people kept it, and B, it survived. And how many? I mean, there are only less than a dozen of that ticket?
I think 7 or 8. Now, what's interesting to me is so I love the ticket conversation. Obviously, I'm big into it. I don't necessarily subscribe to the debut is a rookie card. As more card people have gotten into it, that's what they like. There are a couple debuts that I think are undisputably collectible. Jackie, Jordan, LeBron, Bo Jackson, some the ones that I think that you knew at the time they were big. Now the ticket collectors who are card people say, well, what's great about it is you didn't know at the time, and they love the scarcity and they love I'm so much more into moments because I used it since cards don't have moments. I use the moments to say, oh my God, I was here at this time. Especially in COVID, when we needed to go back into our memory bank because we had no joy because we were sitting in our houses all day, right? We needed to jog our memories and make ourselves smile. And man, I remember where I was during the NBA Finals with the Rockets and the Knicks and the O.J. Simpson car chase at halftime. And, I remember where I was when this or that, or as opening day comes, my only championship. What a horrible thing for a person to be 44 years old and have one sole championship.